Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this is really interesting. We're going to talk about the Johnny Depp case again. We didn't really talk about it a whole lot during the trial, but something very interesting has happened. NBC News has hired one of his legal team to be an analyst on NBC News, and it was NBC News that had the biggest problem with YouTubers covering the Johnny Depp case.
I know. It's like there was a turntables.
How the turntables, and let me remind you, NBC just laid a bunch of people off, but they're hiring Camille Vasquez to come in.
A lot of money, I'm sure.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. This is another indicator of the pendulum swinging, I think. We're going to talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over, what are we at? 287,000?
I think so. Yeah.
287,000 subs. Thank you for the support. Make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube was up to shenanigans. You know the deal, right? Make sure you're still subscribed. So yeah, we covered this yesterday, actually. I put a video up yesterday morning talking about how it was going to be a really bad year for journalists. A lot of journalists getting laid off. A lot of people getting laid off from NBC News and MSNBC. And then they turn around, they hire Camille Vasquez.
It's almost like understanding that if you're a lawyer for somebody, it's your job to be their lawyer. You know, that's your job to defend that person.
Yeah, so they're bringing her in because she was kind of the face of the victory.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, oh, she's a horrible person to support Johnny Depp. It was her job.
Look, there are lawyers that defend people that, I mean, look, you have an out if you think the person is absolutely positively guilty, but it is your job to get them off or lessen the severity.
Not get them off.
No.
But, you know, I'm like, besides the fact that, you know, the evidence definitely supported Depp in this situation,
yes.
and, you know, not Amber Heard. And she was on the side of, I think, what was the honest side. It's funny to me because they're like, you know, they're losing their shit, and it's like, but she's just doing her job.
This is really ironic. Again, doubly so because it was NBC News. They attacked YouTubers.
I know.
They did hit pieces on that umbrella guy, multiple hit pieces.
I thought it was funny too. I saw it in the Mary Sue of all places.
And they're just like freaking face palming. They're like, really? It's like, no, you don't understand. Mary Sue, you lost. It's over. Like the pendulum is swinging back and people are just like, yeah, you know, we had a trial and it was overwhelmingly in favor of Johnny Depp.
The thing is that people saw the evidence.
Yes.
It was publicized. The evidence was shown in real time. People could make their decisions based on the evidence and not by whatever narrative or after being filtered through NBC or another news outlet, which is what we were getting up until that point. Was here's the story filtered through, you know, this person or that person who's friends with this network or that network, or who knows a writer over here, writer over there, whose PR person's friends with them or whatever. You weren't getting the narrative that was going through the filters. You're getting it straight from the source. Here's the evidence. Here's the argument. You can make up your own mind. And that's what they lost their shit. And they tried to blame it on YouTubers, but YouTubers didn't do anything except report on what was out there publicly. So it wasn't like they had inside knowledge. They were, you know, they were like, here's the evidence. You make up your mind.
Yeah, we're going to talk about one in particular who is very salty, Kat Tenbarge, who went on a bender against YouTubers, and I think she was the one that came out, you know, went after that umbrella guy, and she is very salty. So let's read this article. This is fun.
Yahoo also had it. Several news outlets have it. It said today fans are calling out Savannah Guthrie's connection to Johnny Depp's attorney.
So, of course, the Amber Heard stands are out in force trying to find a way to get Vasquez canceled.
All five of them.
All five of them in their 50,000 old accounts. They're bringing up that Savannah Guthrie's husband, I guess, worked on the legal team. If you go down here, she had a disclaimer. She said, quick disclosure, my husband has done consulting work for the Depp legal team, but not in connection with the interview with Amber Heard.
Because she interviewed Amber Heard, yes.
Yes.
So they're like, but apparently there was a bidding war for this woman for different networks to be a consultant and everything else. And so now the NBC News people are salty as hell. But like you said, a bunch of them just got fired, but they had the money to spend on this person. And this is after they went after, you know, Johnny Depp like crazy.
Yes. It's freaking weird. I mean, seriously, all this stuff that's going on in 2023, I couldn't have predicted it a year ago. But it's like everything is getting reversed and upended. And yeah, NBC News spent a hell of a lot of time going after Depp's legal team, going after individual YouTubers. Honestly, I think those reporters should have been fired because they were really getting close to just serial harassment. But yes, now maybe they hired her so they didn't get sued. I don't know, but I think it's because she brings the views.
I think so too.
She's going to bring the views.
And again, I want to point out again that it was a publicized trial. Most people flip sides. Most people were believing Amber Heard because they were only hearing it through the filters of media that was taking her side. And then when they actually saw the evidence and could form their own opinion, a lot of people changed their minds. It had nothing to do with YouTubers or anything else. And these people are salty as hell about it.
This one, the fact that people are surprised that Savannah Guthrie pulled a Camille Vasquez has me shaking my head. Of course, NBC protects abusers and her husband is on Depp's legal consulting team. So of course, not shocked, totally expected. No, it's not, or you won't
They're protecting abusers. Why aren't they protecting Amber Heard?
That's a good question.
I mean, if you're going to argue Johnny Depp's an abuser, then I would argue Amber Heard is one based on the evidence as well.
So let's go back to the Mary Sue. NBC has decided to hire Johnny Depp's lawyer, Camille Vasquez, as legal analyst, a decision that hasn't set well with their own staff. Given NBC's own reporting of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial and the fact the company is undergoing layoffs to pay for her, it is understandable that staff would have concerns about her hiring.
Well, you know what? Maybe they're hoping that they'll quit. And then they'll quit on their own, and that avoids them having to give them all kinds of, packages and all that stuff for leaving. And then they don't have to fire anybody else lay anybody else off or get rid of anybody else or anything else because they'll just fire themselves.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then you just get rid of everybody, all the problematic dipshits in one fell swoop.
Oh my God, I love this. This is the Mary Sue's take. Depp's rabid fans who led a smear campaign against Heard and tarnished the Me Too movement with their hatred and spread of misinformation quickly latched onto Vasquez as a hero.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Depp's fans led a smear campaign. People were being told completely different evidence than what they were shown in a trial. It doesn't seem like it was Depp's side that was doing a smear campaign, for one. Two, the smear campaign that they're supposedly, in the court of law, it was decided that Amber Heard lied. It's not a smear campaign to take, Depp's side based on evidence. That's not a smear campaign. The Me Too movement was already tarnished way before this. The Me Too movement, if you want to argue it was tarnished because of the situation, you can argue that if Amber Heard lied, which by the court, according to the courts, she did, then that tarnished the Me Too movement because it was being used and misrepresented and actually probably hurt a lot of people that are actual victims. So if you want to blame tarnishing the Me Too movement, I'd blame it more on Heard than I would on Depp. But beyond that, you had all these groups cashing in on the Me Too movement, like those celebrity females, those women that were supposed to be helping women, and then they made us appear and it was tied to
Time's Up. Yeah,
and it was tied to that Cuomo thing.
Yes.
And all the other shit. They tarnished their own Me Too movement well before this.
Oh God. Okay. So just a reminder.
Amber with her false narratives. That's I think you're missing that's Amber Heard.
So this article from the Washington Post, which is also going to have layoffs this year, by the way, Taylor Lorenz, who is a serial doxer and harasser.
Anytime you see Taylor Lorenz, to just roll your eyes and keep scrolling.
So she put hit pieces out on YouTubers, and so did this Kat Tenbarge from NBC News. And this is just so effing hilarious. 6 months after the fact, we're going to hire the person you hate the most, and we're going to fire your friends. How you like that? Let that sink in. Because welcome to the new reality. This is 2023 and we got to make money. And guess what? You're not making us money. You're making us look foolish and you're costing us money and potentially getting us into lawsuits for defamation. So this is how it's going to roll, guys.
And this is not even about Johnny Depp, isn't it? It's just like she's a legal consultant, isn't it? It's nothing to do with Johnny Depp.
No, she's just a consultant. I mean, they did this with, I remember after OJ. They had the lawyers come in and,
You have one client that they don't like, and now you're not allowed to be a consultant or do anything else ever again because they said so.
But she's not even a white woman. Like, you'd think you'd be all happy.
How dare you? Racism, clearly.
Clearly racism. Here's what Kat Tenbarge, NBC reporter, thinks. She covered the case and tried to expose social media misinformation and harassment while participating
in social media.
Misinformation and harassment herself. Yes. Kat Tenbarge, blue check, probably legacy because she's not going to pay Elon Musk because, rich white man. During the trial, viral posts about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were almost all in favor of Depp, but things are starting to shift. I wanted to break down some of the ways individuals were able to fight back against information. This is her from August, right?
This is way after the fact. And then and Amber Heard conceded, gave in, paid the $1 million and quit.
Yeah, let's see if she's saying anything. Let's see if she's saying anything now. She's not saying much now, I don't think.
Retweeting.
I don't think she's allowed to. I don't think she's allowed to. Maybe she got laid off.
No, so says NBC News on there.
Yeah. But she's not going to say much of anything. She's probably not allowed to, honestly. They're probably going to be like, yeah, you shut your mouth. We pay her more than we pay you. So.
Well, wait, but isn't this cat, was she a white woman?
Yes.
Oh. Does she not like her because she's not white?
I don't know. Maybe she's a racist.
I mean, if we can make all these ridiculous arguments and make claims that aren't true, I mean.
Her reporting caused her to suffer the unprecedented vitriol of Depp's fans, who quickly set up a petition to try to get her fired from NBC.
I don't think they're going to have to worry about that.
I don't think they're going to have to worry about it for daring to examine the case without being noticeably biased in favor of Depp. No, actually, she went after YouTubers. Her and Taylor Lawrence went after YouTubers.
They had in their head that YouTubers were responsible for the jury picking the side they did. And that everybody changed their mind because of YouTubers. When people were watching and looking at the evidence, it was all over the media, both on, regular mainstream news outlets, magazines, newspapers, everybody was covering it. You got to look firsthand at the evidence.
These companies are going to pivot to profit. I hate to break it to you. In the Mary Sue, you're not long for this world. You don't make money. You don't make enough money. And I don't think you're going to be around much longer. I think you're either going to get sold off again or shut down. In fact, didn't they have some of their reporters suddenly leave not too long ago? Either they couldn't pay them or something.
No, they had one of them gone, yeah.
Just speculation, because we're going to see a lot of this. And we said yesterday, we're going to see a lot of this in 2023. Yeah, so they were trying to make it out like she was a victim being discredited by the people she was trying to discredit.
These people went out and deliberately went out and tried to get... They were doxxed. Well, not this person particularly, but other like that Taylor Lawrence was accused of doxing people. I mean, it was funny because my daughter came in, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago, and said, oh my gosh, there's this really awful woman. And it was all over TikTok about this awful woman and stuff she did. And she was talking about Taylor Lawrence. And I was like, oh my God, it's on TikTok. And she said, yes.
I guarantee you Lawrence is going to get ousted. They're going to lay a bunch of people off from the Washington Post. NBC's laying people off. I think what they're going to do, how they're going to get rid of these people that have caused them problems for the last couple of years, for the last like 2, 4, 5 years, is they're going to have a round of layoffs, say, oh yeah, the economy, macroeconomic circumstances, whatever. And they're going to shit can the problematic people, the people that are causing them headaches. And then they're going to go hire more Camille Vasquez because they bring the views.
Right. And I love this. Unsurprisingly, it has been reported that her hiring has not sat well with the staff.
What?
It's caused murmurings in the newsroom and sparked at least one written complaint to management.
From Kat Tenbarge, probably.
Probably. It said reported by one NBC staffer stated, probably Kat Tenbarge, for her to end up in this branding as an NBC news analyst, it puts her in a league with journalists of this network, and that's unfortunate. Well, I would argue that might be a step up, because a lot of these journalists I would use air quotes for. I'm sorry, going around doxing people, causing shit, making up shit because the trial didn't go your way because you're yelling me too, doesn't make you a quote unquote journalist.
God, this is great. This is just
you're a journalist if you agree with me.
I hate to use the language from the Joker, but you get what you fucking deserve. Mm-hmm. You deserve to be working with her and actually she deserves to take your job because she did her job. She did it well. And I'm sorry.
But she's not even taking her job. She's just coming in as an analyst.
Well,
it's not the same thing at all.
I know it's not the same thing, but
you have to play nice.
You have to pull the money from someplace, and she's going to bring.
Sure, it's all coming from those people. I like this. According to the Hollywood Reporter, multiple news organizations were vying for Vasquez before NBC proved the winner, which means it was a bidding war. It must have been quite the lucrative deal they inked with her because the same time reports rose that they did lay off roughly 75 employees. So they're trying to tie it to the layoffs. They were going to lay off people anyway. I do not think they're connected.
They just had a new boss come in and they're going to have a lot of layoffs. But wouldn't that be funny if they're like, yeah, you know what? One of her is worth 75 of you.
Yeah, well, they might have, but I don't honestly think they laid off people just to bring her in. I think that she came available and they were able to scrape the money together. Do I think all 75 people got laid off for her? No. I do not think that.
Look how they end it. I love this. God, I love the salt. Ooh, geez, man, this is just like when Elon Musk bought Twitter. Like, shit, man, this is good. Ultimately, hiring someone for social media clout while disregarding and laying off their own staff doesn't seem like a smart choice, especially when that woman attained her fame for sucking up to a powerful man and laughing at the testimony of an alleged victim of abuse.
Okay, let's look at this again. Hiring someone for social media clout says, meanwhile, they have that chick that was working for NBC Now, what was her name again? Who went around trying to cause shit over clout. And then they said they're laying off their own staff. Well, I think they were laying off their own staff anyway. That was going to be happening way before.
There's going to be more. There's going to be a lot more.
Especially when that woman attained her fame for sucking up to a powerful man. She was doing her damn job. She was hired to be his lawyer. No more than some of these other women like that work for these networks suck up to powerful men who run the networks. Why are you not talking about that? And laughing at testimony of alleged victim of abuse. Alleged that the court said lied.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it went to court. It went to trial. This is what they found. I mean, look, and it was a woman. The judge was a woman, and she was even like...
Right. Well, you only count as a woman if you agree with them. And apparently, it's okay to, hate on other women, even ones that are POCs because they don't agree with you, if it benefits you. But, laughing at a testimony of alleged victim of abuse. The alleged victim of abuse, according to the courts, lied. And... there was evidence that she herself was an abuser, not just with Depp, but with other people. Past exes she was accused of abusing. So, potato here, people. You can't argue that when she herself was supposedly an abuser.
Well, she abused women.
Right. So she abuses women.
Yeah, she abuses women because one of her...
According to the case and to witnesses.
Yeah, so... I think this is very funny. And I think we're going to see a lot, like the worst possible person to take over Twitter was Elon Musk. They hated him. Oh my God, it happened. The worst possible person that can work with us is somebody on Depp's legal team. Oh my God, it happened.
And then they're trying to blame, all these people got laid off. They're telling the laid off people that's her fault. I don't think they got laid off because of her. I think that she became available and they bid high to get her. I don't think that even if they hadn't hired her, it would have changed the layoffs. The layoffs happened before they hired her.
It's because you're driving people away with your shitty reporting. That's the truth.
She's a true journalist.
Okay. All right. Well, she can go start her own Substack, and she can charge people for her news, and we'll see how many subscribers she actually gets. Because I don't think she's going to get a whole lot.
Well, all 5 of the Amber Heard stands in their old accounts.
Do they have the money to pay her?
No. She says she's on a Substack. I was like...
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.